I want to understand why does time stop in a black hole? And if it's boring, then I'm gonna leave. But it better not be boring.
Space-time is different from everyone else's. No one can exist in space exactly where I am.
What the fuck is happening?
Don't let your kids watch it.
Time exactly.
Is she? What the hell is going on? Why is she putting her cock on his shoulder?
Your experiences are humanly identical. Black holes warp space-time, meaning space-time near them is very much different from space-time near us. In the last video, we saw that this means space behaves very differently than what we expected. Now let's explore what this warpage means for time.
Okay. So the fourth dimension objects can only defeat black holes. Is that how that works?
Distortions in space make it essentially impossible to orbit near a black hole. We can still get very close if we have strong engines and stronger bones. If we simply point our engines towards the singularity, we can resist the sultry curves of the black hole and get closer. This of course means our engines need to output more and more thrust the nearer we get.
Yeah, or we die.
Will experience a greater and greater downward force smushing them into their seats. This is not
Wouldn't that break my spine?
So we're going to pretend our ship has some sort of anti-gravity device. What happens as we get closer? Orienting ourselves is not the easiest thing. As we descend, the black hole bends more and more light from the horizon down into it. This causes the ever-consuming blackness to bend up around us. As we pass through the photon sphere, the last possible chance for light to arrive directly from the horizon vanishes. Geometrically, we are still outside of the black hole, but to our eyes, it looks like we've now entered inside. The further we go, the more light bends away from us.
Why would I want to be here?
The universe above shrinks. This creates a bit of a conundrum. How do we know when we've reached the event horizon? Unlike the ISCO and the photon sphere, there's no tangible boundary we can point at and say, ah, there it is. Down here, everything is as black can be. There's two things we can do to counter this. The first is just simply watching our ever-shrinking window above us. When that shrinks to a point...
So we just fall into a hole? That's what that is? So you're basically just falling into a hole.
Horizon. Or we can measure the distance between the ISCO and the photon sphere and divide that by 3. Once we've traveled that distance beyond the photon sphere, we've crossed the event horizon.
So what does that mean?
Fancy computers and thus uses those distances to calculate and then project a hologram of where the event horizon is for us to see.
Okay,
finally,
that's cool.
Our destination.
Does the ship come with like a McDonald's menu system or something? Like that would be fire.
1.01.
You think like if we could have like measuring distances and black holes, you think that we could just like in this point of time technology we'll have like, you know, craftable food? Like that would be fire.
Shore shield radii from the singularity, just above the event horizon. Our engines thrusting with unimaginable force and our anti-gravity device working overtime to keep us comfortable. Now we can experiment to observe the strange new reality we inhabit. Before descending into the black hole, we left a probe orbiting above at the ISCO. Every time the probe passed overhead, it sent out a radio wave signal at 10 megahertz. A light wave's frequency is...
Hey, it shot out a little sperm.
If our time is different down here near the event horizon, we should observe a frequency other than 10 megahertz. The equation for time dilation is this.
But don't show me math, bro. I'm gonna let you know I don't know shit about that.
Frame is of someone very far from the black hole. Our orbiting probe is not very far from the black hole, so we need to calculate the time for both of these. We find that at 1.01 Schwarzschild radii, our time is running at 12% the rate of our probe.
Yes.
So for every second that passes here,
3
seconds passes for it.
No, that makes sense.
When we measure the emitted radio wave frequency, we see that it's jumped to 83 megahertz.
Yeah.
Time is indeed running slower here relative to those further away. Now the most important question to ask is, but why?
But why the fuck am I here, bro? That's literally the thing. I would have been like, why am I over here, bro? I'm about to die. That's what I would have been like. Yo, my one thruster goes out and I'm getting launched into non-existence, bro. I'm not seeing my mom or my sister anymore. I don't exist.
For some reason, the universe has decided that physics should behave the exact same way no matter where you are within it. This is the concept of general relativity. No matter your reference frame, light will always travel at the speed of light. Since speed or velocity is a measurement of space and time, then the only way to keep light at the speed of light for every reference frame is to make modifications to space and time. Let's look at the space-time.
Okay, that makes sense. So because the space is shorter, time needs to be bigger, right? Is that not how what that means? Is it like light always has to travel at a specific speed? It's always going to be the same. So if space is getting fucking crunched down into like a molecule, then that means that light is also being processed at a different speed of time because of math. You know what I mean? Wait, what?
This is an embedding diagram. It's a two-dimensional representation of three-dimensional space. Living here can't observe the third. So even though in reality objects will be moving along curves, those in this world cannot see them. Without gravity, out here, far away from the black hole, objects move through space exactly how we'd imagine them to in 2 dimensions. However, let's see what happens when a photon approaches our black hole. Photons are light and thus must move.
Wouldn't that be like the craziest like ride ever?
A photon from the point of view of someone within the universe, the photon appears to start slowing down. Something is wrong here. Although we cannot observe light in this manner, this is conceptually what is happening. The space around the black hole becomes more and more bent into the higher dimension.
Oh,
Thus,
because it's traveling in a different direction. Oh, wait, I understand now.
Through the unobservable higher dimension.
Wait, I get this.
Time itself slows down in gravity wells.
Wait, this is actually a really cool video. I actually understand this. I just need it visually. This makes sense. Because the light's still traveling at its same speed, but because space is being fucking manipulated so hard all the way down to the bottom here, it's still traveling at its same speed, but it's slower because it's traveling more distance in a way.
I don't know. There's not really a reason except then physics wouldn't work. It's important to remember that for every instance along our light's journey, it appears to be moving at the speed of light for anyone at that frame of reference. If we decided to start here and move away, we would see that the light seems to speed up the further it gets from the black hole. This diagram also shows gravitational acceleration. From the point of view of someone falling into the black hole, they will
L plus no maidens plus no brain plus no gravity plus 2D being. Why did you just? I'm not even a 2D being. Wait, that better not be about me. Someone please, Howard Salt. Why would you do that? In a nutshell, time is slowed down. Yes. Yes.
Really, they are two descriptions of the same thing. At the event horizon, gravity appears undefined. That is
teach me about Kayla. How about that? I'm not teaching you shit, bro. How about you go ask her? You think 4D being
at the speed of light, and thus all of the light's movement is in the higher dimension, meaning it can't move anywhere in the lower dimension.
Bro.
Thus time halts. I must stress.
What about my video?
All relative and appears undefined is the key.
Bro, I'm trying to listen, man.
Mathematically, the curve looks like this down to infinity, but for our
so I guess fuck my video.
Space is moving at the speed of light here.
Howard, can you leave, bro?
Completely contracted along the direction of motion, and thus it looks completely vertical or undefined. Relativity is weird. The last question we will tackle today is, what does it mean then gravitational
I'm here for sus moments, not physics educations. Bro, what if I want to learn? We're going to forget about this in 20 minutes. Captain, no, you're not. Look, I'm going to make sure that you guys understand it, and we're going to have a pop quiz.
Are one complete thing. That the two ends
also, look, I just want to, can I do what I want?
Entity. So when I move this part of the rod forward, the other end moves simultaneously.
Hey, what you doing with that rod, bro? Wait, what are you doing with that rod?
As well. However, what really happens is that you apply a pressure front of electrons pushing against electrons that travels almost the speed of light through our rod. As we descend our crazy long rod down towards the event
horizon, yo, what is happening?
Moves slower than for the end we are holding on to. So one of two things is going to happen, and both seem
golly, she's
the first thing is that the end of the pole at the event
she's gripping that rod. That's crazy.
From it to move ludicrously fast. Thus, as you push the rod towards it, it receives all of those pressure waves from electrons very quickly, and it explodes or breaks apart. But you wouldn't be able to observe this, as the light from the event horizon would be too redshifted to see. The second
so you just die?
Compared to the end we are holding on to, time near the event horizon is running ludicrously slow. This creates a very strong pulling force which would snap the rod much like a rope breaking from too much weight. I honestly have no idea and will not guess which is more likely. This does not mean that if you fall into the event horizon, you will explode or be.
Yes, it would. That's exactly.
A product of the fact that being motionless near the event horizon and further from it are two completely different states of being, and those two states don't like being connected to one another.
So, do you guys think that if you fall into a black hole, you just end up somewhere else then?
Once you let go of the rod, it becomes an inertial reference frame, and suddenly everything is fine. This is because, although time is running slower for the part of the rod near the event horizon, the matter has also accelerated and is moving faster than the matter in the rod further from the event horizon. This balances out, and thus our rod falls.
Yeah, hold my beer. Let me try it. You know what? Throw me in there. If I was ever on that ship, I'd be like, open the mosh pits, bro. Let me in. I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna let you guys know. I'm gonna keep. You know what I'm gonna have? I'm gonna have that Mickey Mouse wristwatch that you get for your McDonald's thing. I'll be like, look, contact me on my wristwatch, bro, and then I'll jump in.
Thus concludes our in-depth look at the distortions of space-time around a black hole.
Wow.
There are many other things to discuss about these unreal phenomena. The fact that they can have charges or spin, Hawking radiation, and their temperature. Perhaps these are topics to return to another day. But the next question to ask is, why and how do black holes form?
Well, I think we already know how that happens. Somebody has the greatest ass cheek clap of their life, and then blammo. Okay. Look at that, boys. Woo! We learned something. Yeah. That's a theory, but I don't believe in it. Wait, what? Hold on, wait a minute. Oh, good. Just a week ago, crew at my house, every party.